good afternoon, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Weekly Review with Sharifah and with Vinnie.
Hey, Vinny, how's it going?
It's going wonderful. How are you this week?
I'm fantastic.
Okay, so we have people who are just now starting to come into the chat room. We definitely invite you to go ahead and share this weekly event, weekly review, weekly interview, weekly sharing. I don't know what it's called, but whatever it is, we definitely want you to share it because we have some good stuff here. Not only do we go over the review of the week, but we talk about our podcast. We talk about what's going on in our life. We talk about some of our interviews. We talk about a lot, don't we, Vinny?
We're open people. We talk about everything. And I think I learn a little bit. You learn a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the viewers learn a little bit.
I think they do. I think I have been getting some positive feedback to the weekly review. And I think the main thing, the consistent message is that they just love that we talk and that we share and we discuss all these different topics. And I'm able to give the women's point of view. You're able to give the man's point of view. And so between you and I and Val, of course, we brought Val into the show as well. We'll have her pop on as a guest soon. But we're able to bring so many different viewpoints onto the show. And people really enjoy that.
So what are you going to tell me? You said you're the woman's point of view, the man's point of view, the right point of view, the wrong point of view?
Yes.
Yes?
So the women's point of view is the right point of view.
Okay.
The male's point of view is we're not going to say the wrong one. Let's just say it's not
looking at the right way.
Yes. And we saw that because poor little Val, you know what I mean? You gave her one stick of gum. You know, I wanted you to do something nice for her, and you just a stick of gum, Vinny.
All right, Val, I know you're watching out there. Next week, we'll give you 2 pieces of gum.
I'm not going to accept that on behalf of Val. I think that she needs more than just 2 sticks of gum.
3 pieces of gum? Whoa, let's not get crazy, all right?
No, we don't want any more gum. I'm advocating for like lunch, something that just says job well done. I think Val earns it. All
right, well, we'll have to talk about it. I know McDonald's has this new deal. It's buy one, get one free or something like that. So I'll have to talk to her about that.
No. I'm negotiating for Val. No fast food, no, run by the whatever it is. Okay, we want a nice, Val helps you out, does she not?
Yes, I will take her out. She knows I care for her and I take care of her. I'm just joking around.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Val, we want you to get that big money. He trying to take you to McDonald's. I got you, Val. Don't even worry about it because you've already shown that you're not willing to play nice. I wanted to have a poker game. When is my poker game?
It's up in Long Beach. I'm not going to Long Beach for the poker game. I don't want to take your money.
First of all, you're not going to take my money. But second of all, you come to Long Beach all the time.
What?
You're not going to win my money either. You come to Long Beach all the time. You have an office in Long Beach. You make it sound so absurd. Like, oh, I would never go to Long Beach.
What's it? It's next month, isn't it?
I don't know. You just slipped off with the next time. That's why I'm here now saying.
I was talking over with Val. She cracks the whip pretty hard.
Okay, so we'll discuss it with Val. Whenever we're coming to Long Beach, bring some people. We'll have some fun. Have a night. I love poker, by the way. I'm a poker aficionado. That's the game of life. Yeah.
Were you? You know when they were doing on ESPN, all the channels, like it was a couple years back. So is that when you picked it up, or have you been doing it a long time?
No, Vinny, just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I don't play poker. I've been playing poker for years. I only watch those games when it's a celebrity on it. I will admit that. So as more celebrities started to play the poker, then let me tune in. But if it's no celebrity or anyone I'm into, I'm not going to watch it.
No?
No.
Well, I thought you were supposed to always be learning and learning techniques.
I am always ABC, always ABL, always be learning.
Learning?
But that's entertainment. I just love the.
What's your first memory of playing poker?
In Vegas. I used to go to Vegas a lot.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't do slot machines. It has to be the table. So my favorite game is Let It Ride.
What's Let It Ride? I don't even know.
It's a poker game. It's a version of poker.
Oh, is it? Is it? How do you play it?
Well, Vinny, we'll discuss it some other time. Right now, we get like way off topic.
There's some future gamblers on here. We're trying to help them out. Let it ride.
They don't want to gamble, Vinny. They want to learn. Okay, this is how you play, right? No. Because you gave me that Sharifah, you're not helping the people. And you know I have to help the people. So if there's anyone who's interested in Let It Ride, I love Let It Ride. That is my game. But basically, you get three cards, and the dealer turns over 2, but she turns them over slower. So you turn over your 3. When you have your 3, you may have something that's automatically going to win. So any 10s or higher, 2 10s or higher, jacks, queens, kings, whatever it is, ace in your hand is automatically going to be a no-brainer. You win. So you're going to win regardless. So if you have a no-brainer, you can stay there with your 3 cards because you're going to have 2 with the dealer, which is going to give you 5. Okay. So then if say you don't have a no-brainer, you have some other cards and you may not win, you can tell the dealer to push 1 card back. So you take back a set of chips, they turn over a card. Now you have 4 cards. You say, okay, I may have a no-brainer, or you may have anything where you don't really think you're going to win. So now you can do one thing. You can take it back, or you'll tell the dealer, let it ride. And so you put your cards down, you're going to let it ride with just 2 hands up there. Okay, you following so far, Vinny?
Yeah.
This is how you play it. So if you had let the entire thing ride, then you would basically have made 3 bets. If you bring 1 back, it's 2 bets, and you have to do at least 1 bet. So that's how you play.
I don't know if I'm picking up. Craps is my game.
No, I'm not into anything like that. I like poker. I love poker. I love Let It Ride. I'm a poker kind of girl, unless you want to get to, something like other card games. I don't do crap games, 21, blackjack, anything like that.
If anyone's watching in Southern California as a professional poker player, I'd love to have them on the podcast.
You're going to have them on the weekly review?
Weekly review or my podcast, your podcast?
No, because you're trying to slip away.
Fun story.
No, I want to be there so I can ask my questions when you're asking your questions, because I want to learn too. Okay, but I have to tell you about my week. Okay, back to my week. Okay, normally I do interviews Monday through Friday, noon to 6 p.m.
Okay.
I had a gentleman who is a doctor, Dr. G. Alfred Palmer. Okay. And due to his busy schedule, because the way we worked it out, I interviewed him on Saturday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
His interview was so amazing. And I did the interview because, again, I felt not only was it Saturday, but I wanted everyone to be able to meet him. I wanted everyone to see why I was so passionate about him as a doctor. And so what he does is Purposeology Institute. That's what his quest is. That's what his mission is, to work with people to help them find their purpose in life. So he talks to people about finding their purpose, how to find purpose, and he talked about his journey. So I have a lot of guests who come on the show who talk about their purpose, how they teach people, how they help people. But what stood out about him to me, was that Dr. Palmer, first of all, it was like going to church. So by the end of it, I said, you know what, maybe we should have done this interview on Sunday as opposed to Saturday, because we definitely were having some church up in here. It was one of those interviews where I could ask one question. 15 minutes later, I'd be ready for the next question, because he was just talking, and he's a pastor. And by the end, I could just see the pastor just come out of him, because he was just preaching, for lack of a better word. Preaching isn't always what you do. It's something that's in you. And so if you know preachers or pastors or men of the cloth, they usually at some point in time, it just comes out when they're speaking. And it was just an incredible interview. People were saying that it was one of the best. People shared the interview. But the thing that made it so interesting as well is Dr. Palmer talked about his mentor, Dr. Miles Monroe. And Dr. Monroe passed away 65. This would have been his 65th birthday this month had he lived. And so Dr. Palmer was telling us about how he traveled the country, followed this man around, went to book signings. When Dr. Monroe would ask him to go anywhere, he would show up and he would be there. And he would, to a certain extent, be more like an intern, because this was just a way for him to learn, a way for him to get his training, and for a way for him to be a part of Dr. Monroe's mission. But what stood out to me was that when he was describing how I followed this man around the country, he was just speaking from his heart. You know, and often when you have any type of ego, people don't want to admit that they're following someone else around, that they had to be around this person, that just give him gifts, whatever it was. But I was just in awe of how he was just so humble and say, if I hadn't done all of those things, then I wouldn't be where I am today and taking up the gauntlet to talk about purposeology. It was just very interesting.
How long was he following around for?
He didn't say a specific amount of time, but it was for years. He was, you know, a part of his group that went to different things for years.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And then Dr. Monroe was killed in a plane crash with some other people. Their plane went down and he passed away. Did
the person you interviewed, does he have an intern basically following him around now?
No, but he probably will. He probably will, because after that interview, after I said, you know what, more people have to see Dr. Palmer, yes, the lights are moving, everything is like good. But I know there are people who are going to want to learn what he's talking about, because, I mean, it was an incredible interview. Every question I asked, because I had to go back to asking the same question about Nipsey Hussle. There were so many people who were affected by Nipsey Hussle's death. There were so many people who, to this day, they're still going to Marathon Clothing Store to be in that presence. But I had to ask Dr. Palmer, okay, but what are the action steps that we're taking within our community to be able to take over some of the things that the Nipsey Hussle did? What are we doing now? And so he came right back with his response, which was purposeology. You know, if we are helping people to find their purpose in life, then those people are not going to be out there doing drugs. They're not going to be out there doing crimes. And I was just like, you know what? That is a very strong statement to make. I mean, there are so many people in leadership roles who do not want to make those kind of statements. You know, they want to be politically correct. They don't want to make sure they don't want to offend any police officers, any politicians. They want to stay just politically correct. And he came out and he made some very broad, very strong statements. And I for one was pleased.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's powerful. Who else did you have on the show? Or who else did you interview?
Okay, so that was Dr. G. Alfred Palmer. Interesting interview. It's up on my YouTube as well as on the Facebook page, facebook.com/ILikeSharifah, as well as AskSharifah.com. So that was interesting. My week this week started off kind of awkward. It was kind of weird. I know you won't believe this, Vinnie, but Monday morning, I had an 8 a.m. interview scheduled. That was my podcast. I had a 9 o'clock radio show that I was supposed to be interviewed on. And then 10 a.m. to do Monday mornings with Lucinda and Sharifah. And I had been trying to sleep because I've been going and I hadn't had enough sleep. So on Monday, I was like, let me take some medicine and just go to sleep. So by the time I went to do the 10 o'clock Monday mornings with Lucinda and Sharifah, I was just out of it. And I couldn't even do the show. It was just like, I felt like a rookie, you know, somebody who's just starting off. Like, you don't take sleeping medicine right before you do a show. You take it after, you know, and I had taken it at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I figured I'd be a little rested. I'll be awake. I'll get ready to do the show. So Lucinda starts to do the morning meditation, this guided meditation. And so in the middle of the meditation, all of a sudden I'm just sitting there and like, I am about to pass out. I just stopped it. And then that was the end of it. I was like, I can't do this. Oh my God, Vinnie. For the rest of the week, I was like, what's going on? I don't know.
So do you take a lot of sleeping pills, Sharifah?
No, I don't typically. But this was unexpected and this was rare. And do you know how many things I'm doing right now? I'm doing my Ask Sharifah interviews, Monday mornings with Lucinda, weekly review with Vinnie, and I've added another thing to my plate, which is the networking events in 2 ways. So now every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m., I'm holding networking events at my house. Where people come, they get to mingle, bring their business cards. They each get 2 minutes to stand up and make a presentation about their business. So I'm going to do that on the weekends. And then I said, you know what? If you really want to talk about your book, where's my book? the famous book, Signs You Might Be an Entrepreneur. I said, you have to get out there and meet new people. And I'm very shy and introverted. So it was like all of a sudden, everything just hit me all at once. And I went to sleep.
So how many hours do you average a night of sleep?
About 4.
About 4 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did 4 last night. And that's tough to be sustainable.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know how I do it. But the thing is, I usually tend to sleep like a baby, like a little kid, on and off, like on again, off again. So I work, I eat, I sleep, and then I go back to, I go back to sleep. That's it. And I wake up, I do some more work, eat some more.
Naps too?
That's what I do. Like after a big day, then I'll take a nap, and I'll get up and eat, and then by about 8, 9 o'clock, I'm ready to go back to sleep.
Okay, so how long is a nap for?
Couple of hours, maybe 2, 3 hours.
So you're getting basically 7 hours a day then?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Val, she stays up all the time too, and she takes her naps or siestas midday. Yeah.
Yes, you have to.
Well, I probably do about 6 to 7 hours a night. I sleep pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
So, huh?
I said, no, that's good.
Yeah, no, today was, oh my gosh, yeah, definitely 4 hours. That's not sustainable. I went to sleep at midnight last night. I woke up this morning at 4.
Mm-hmm.
That was sustainable. So so besides you getting intoxicated off of your pills.
That's not what we said. And we're going to edit that word right out of this show, okay?
Sorry, wasted off your sleeping pills. I'm sorry about that.
You know what? That's not what I said either. So what I had to do was just slow down this week. Like I haven't wanted to do anything, but I did. I went to a networking event today. I went to the Long Beach referral meetup, and they were at Straw Hat Pizza today at noon. And so that was very interesting. And I told them I was going to go back, and I am, mainly because they're in Long Beach. But what was so interesting to me is, and they kept saying it, but I felt it more than what they were saying, is they kept saying, we're friends. Like, unless if you don't want new friends, don't join us, because we're all friends. We come more to be friends and less like group members. And so I'm like, this is interesting. But when I got there to the meeting today, it was probably about 6 other people. And I walked in a little late, and everyone knew each other. So they just kind of said, okay, we'll introduce yourself, and then we'll introduce each other real quick. So I'm like, okay, so I introduced myself. Everyone briefly introduced themselves, and that was basically like the extent of the meeting. I'm like, meeting's over? You know what I mean? Like, that's it. It only lasts a few minutes. But again, being that they were friends, everyone just started going into little cliques and hanging out and talking. I'm like, well, glad I came. Thank y'all. And I left.
So do you really make it?
Yes.
So how, like, on that note right there, how quick is it to be a friend of yours? Is it just a stranger off the street can meet you and you be a friend?
Yes.
So you're a very trustworthy person.
Yes. I'm a very trustworthy person, but I have 2 phones. So it's like, here's my business card. Here's my business card. Here's my business card, which has the second phone on it. So when they call, I can talk to them, but it doesn't have to interfere until they actually have moved into a true friend, and then they'll be in the other phone. They get upgrades and downgrades.
So people watching right now, if they have basically your first phone.
Yes. Yes.
They have some work to do.
No, they don't have to do any work. They could just stay in the second phone forever. And just, it's completely business.
So, but you're saying that the only way to get to the top phone is actually you to start liking them.
But they don't have to be liked. They can just stay in the position that they are. That's okay. You know what I mean? But it's just strictly business. But I received 1 text and 1 phone call since the networking event, because all I want to do, I ordered 1,000 business cards. Have you seen my new business cards?
No.
Bam!
Oh, there you go.
Right.
There you go. I look snazzy in that one.
You do. I like that.
A lot of Photoshop.
No, see, I didn't do Photoshop, but I had a lot of makeup on. But so I go to make the introduction,
Okay.
especially since everything on my website is automated, so that anyone can go and schedule their own interview, whether it's the video cast or the podcast. So all I really want to do is shake more hands, pass out more business cards. And then as I start going to these meetings, as opposed to being just a visitor, people will start to get more referrals. People will start to get more business. So that was a great thing. So I'm doing more networking.
I was talking to someone that they're telling me that business cards, you really don't want to give your business cards out. You want to take their information and just save in your phone. There's like a card camera or something like that. You can take a picture and then put it right in your phone. Because I don't know about you, but when I go to like events and I get a bunch of business cards, unless I put it on my phone, I probably won't call that person back.
Mhm.
I don't know.
No, I agree. I've said that for years. The networking event, two networking events prior to this one, I didn't have any business cards.
Oh,
I
okay.
keep making business cards. Like I've had a set of business cards for my Crossroads TV. I had another set of business cards for AskSharifah.com. So it kind of depends on what mood I am in at that moment and what my focus is. So I wanted a business card within the News PR, which is my PR company, because my focus is on picking up new PR clients. And I love to be able to create stories. I can take any brand, any niche, and just spin it. Even you're a realtor, I would really totally play up that whole Clark Kent kind of thing. You meet, I would. I mean, because when you first meet you know what I mean? You got the glasses, you always have that kind of Clark Kent, I'm steady, I'm safe kind of vibe going, but then you pull it off and it's like, oh my God, it's Superman. You kind of come up with different ideas in order to be able to put out any type of PR campaign. So I did that, got it on my cards. And so before that, I would have people like, let me just take your number. But now I really feel it's more professional to at least give them a card, and if they're interested in speaking to me, then they'll give me a call.
That makes sense.
I did another networking event last week.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We talked about Yvonne Larson. Yvonne is the lady who had this flyer. We talked about it last week. And she was the one who spoke about suicide and the high suicide rates for entrepreneurs. And as you can tell, again, from my book, Signs You Might Be an Entrepreneur, I'm focused on everything entrepreneur. So when she spoke about the high suicide rates, I was like, I want to introduce you to everybody. I think you would love to have her as a guest, Vinnie, because she's amazing. She truly is amazing. She wants to help people who are entrepreneurs with depression and suicidal thoughts. So I had her on my show on Tuesday at 4 p.m. So if anyone definitely wants to go watch one of the videos on AskSharifah.com or Facebook.com/I Like Sharifah and watch Yvonne Larson's interview. She started crying. And it's so interesting. One of the things I liked about her is she's a crier. We talked about that a little bit last week. Every time she speaks, her eyes just well up and she's like crying. And I'm before the interview, I said, I wonder if she's going to cry. I don't know if that was mean or not, but I felt like, I wonder if she's going to cry. And it was like the last 2 minutes. And I was like, let our audience know what you want them to take away from your interview, what you want to share with them. And she started talking, tears came. It was very emotional.
Well, there was so I had 4 interviews this week, and one of them actually, while I was interviewed, talked about crying. Cried a little bit on the interview.
Is that the model? Was that the model?
No. She was so yeah. So I had Lou Niles. So he does producing. He does some DJ work. I had him on, and then I had the Project Runway winner. The one that won season 14, Ashley Tipton. And then I had, who was it? I had the model on today. She's a title rep now, but she used to be a model. She was on America's Next Top Model. And then I had, I'm going to blank the last one. Oh, and then I had someone from the Ukraine. He has a landscape design company. But
okay.
The season 14 one, that was the one for, so she does plus size dresses and outfits. So she's the first one to do plus size outfits, and she's kind of dealt with depression. And it was one of those things that after she was telling me on the podcast that she was a little overweight on the show, but then afterwards she got to 400 pounds. And like on the show, because she was fighting through, she was able for the season finale able to do plus size outfits. And that was the first time they ever allowed someone to do a plus size outfit. And so she started becoming the voice, the vocal point for people that maybe thought that like minorities or people that were overweight. And she started being this leader of this movement. And she didn't really want to be the leader of the movement. Yet it was put on her. And so she kind of ended up putting a lot of weight on, 400 pounds. And she ended, after doing that, she started realizing that she was, I mean, in her eyes, I mean, not healthy. And so she did a bypass, what was it, where they took about 150 pounds off her. She got a bunch of flack off of that. And so she started crying about it a little bit. It was tough. She was dealing with depression.
So was she dealing with depression while she was on the show?
Yeah, I guess she was crying a lot on the show, but she was just like that. I think hearing her out, it's probably tough, especially she didn't want to be the leader of this movement. She just wanted to be a person to help people like her that didn't have clothing that was dedicated to them. Yet people saw her as this figure, and they put this mantle on her, and she didn't really want it, but now she has it. Now she's like, I just want to basically, make my family happy. I want to basically allow women that are a little bigger to have clothing that fits them right. And so it's just, I think it's, she wants to help these people out, yet it's also the pressure and the burden and that kind of thing that's kind of bestowed upon her.
Yes, because when we're going through something, sometimes we just want to kind of hide and go through it. The depression isn't something that's easy to go through. And then all of a sudden you got everyone, look at her. She's the face of, plus size models. And it's like, wait a minute, I don't even want to be reminded that I'm plus size. Now everybody's pushing her out there.
Well, and I think she's okay with being known as a plus size model. It's just like, it's almost like you want to do good by people, right? But you don't want the accolades. With the accolades, you get the pressure. And with the pressure, it's just more of a burden. Like you just want to do good without actually having to have that on your shoulders. Because the one, like when she basically lost that 150 pounds, everyone was looking at her like, why would you do this? Like, I'm 400 pounds, or I'm 450 pounds, or I'm 350 pounds, and now you're trying to get smaller. You're saying that I'm not healthy, and they start kind of looking at everything she does with a microscope. And so that seemed kind of tough, like, especially if you take it all in.
I know. I mean, it reminds me of like the downside of being a celebrity in general. When you're a celebrity, you want to be able to get life. You want to be able to achieve that life. You want that notoriety. You want people to recognize you on the street. You want people to say, you know what, I really love Weekly Review with Vinnie and Sharifah. I think you're great. Which is actually kind of interesting. I think a lot of things threw me this week. So I went to an event on Saturday, and this was at the Where Woo Woo Meets Wellness Fair. And of course the people were like, we want you to come. We want you to be there. So I'm like, okay. And I usually go around 10 o'clock. Now, this week, because I did the 11 a.m. on Saturday with Dr. G. Alfred Palmer, I didn't finish that until noon. And then I had to head to Anaheim. And so I got there at about, 1 o'clock, which was later. But when I walked in and the people saw me, this one lady came up to me and she was like, it's you. I want your book.
Oh, wow.
Right. And I was like, that was like one of the coolest feelings. It was, because it's like, there's a difference between making money and attracting money. And I felt in that moment that I was attracting it, because I didn't have to sell it. I didn't have to be like, hey, you want to buy my book? You want to buy my book? You right there? You want to buy my book? She was just like, I want your book. And I'm like, here, sure. She paid for it. She's like, can you sign it? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I signed it. But it just struck me like, oh, wow. She was like, it's you. Like, you're I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
It's funny because anything you're doing, you don't know who's watching, especially with our social media platform these days.
Right.
There's more people that you probably wouldn't come across that
Mm-hmm.
that feel like they know you, or they've seen you or watched stuff you've done. And that's, you just never know who's watching. That's kind of the thing. You basically, you could be on the street and people could be, you do something right by a person, like even on the good side of it, like you help an old lady across the street or hold the door for a person, it might bring a smile to a person's face, or a young kid, they're saying, okay, maybe I should be doing that when I grow up. So it's like, you have to be aware, you have to be consciously aware of everything you're doing these days. And for yourself, because you're putting yourself out there on such a high basis, that's, keep doing good content and people are going to recognize it.
Yes, that's what I did, because when the lady recognized me, because I do the Monday mornings with Lucinda and Sharifah, she was watching through Lucinda's feed. And so she had watched the interview I did with Body Studio. So she had watched a few, but she knows Lucinda. I didn't know who she was, and we had never met or had anything. But when I met her in person, it was just like, it's you. And I'm like, it's me. You know what I mean? Like, this week has just been just all over the place.
Well,
but
no, you say?
But another thing that happened at the same time, because this is where everybody comes once a month to the Werewolf Meets Wellness Fair, and it was another lady who she was like, said hi to me, and she was like, we finally get to meet in person. So I'm having this whole conversation, and I hope, this is what's difficult about all these different interviews, because certain things I want to say that I'm like, I hope they're not watching, but I will say this. So someone said we get to meet in person, and I was like, okay. And I talked to her, because I always have these incredible conversations, even when I'm not absolutely sure who they are. And so a little bit later, I went over to someone else, and I said, is that such and such? And it was like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. Because we had just started being Facebook friends. We had just started doing a little chatting. And you know how it is. Sometimes you see someone's Facebook picture and you're like, okay. And then you see them in person and you're like, I have a friend like that, like, honestly. And her profile picture on Facebook had Photoshop and it had makeup. And this lady never looks like that. And she's a good friend, so I tease her. So I'm always like, that's you? We need to go back and get you, because this not you. You know what I mean? Like, we need you to be you.
We see that all the time in real estate. It's so funny, because there's actually this one situation, someone was telling me about it. So this guy, he sees this property that he wants to go take a look at, and there's a very attractive woman on the for sale sign there. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I'm gonna just call her, and she's gonna show me the property. So he calls the person up, and he's like, hey, I'm looking to see this property. And then he's waiting there. And this older woman comes up, right? Mm-hmm. She's older. The person in the picture looks like they're in their 30s. The woman that's walking up is like in her 60s, right? 65. And walking up, and she's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can let you inside, get you in there. And he's like, so is your daughter coming? Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, that's me. That's me. He's like, oh, all right. Like, but that's like all the time where people will have the glamour shots, from back from the 70s, 80s, and
yes,
might want to update it.
Yes. These are the things that you learn on Weekly Review with Vinnie and Sharifah. Okay, update it. Somebody gonna recognize you if they have to call 911. Don't want to come and get the wrong person because you don't look like you.
False advertising. Going back to your idea of you never know who's watching. It was so funny because so back in the day when I was in college, I ran a college TV show. I told this story. I don't know if I told this one here, but so it was me and another co-host. Mm-hmm. And so the first 2 seasons, I was like, I have the dry sense of humor. Right? Mm-hmm. Very kind of, very dry, kind of like a British style. And so I'd play off his kind of more eccentric stuff. Mm-hmm. And then he left, and so the last season, the other person there was kind of dry, and so I needed kind of taking over his eccentric thing, right? And it was just so funny because I was walking one day, and someone that I didn't even know came up to me and goes, I liked you more kind of the straight humor kind of thing. I like your stuff, but it's just like you never know who's watching you. I kind of played out of who I really was. So even in this stuff right here, I try to be as real as possible to who I am, because I think people can recognize fakeness. Yes,
and I think they recognize when you're authentic, and I think we are. I think at the very least, if nothing else, I think we're authentic. I think we just talk about whatever comes to mind, whatever happened that week. So again, I had Dr. G. Alfred Palmer, I had Yvonne Larson, but I also had Zumara Maria. Now, Zumara Maria, and it's kind of
that's a unique name right there. Zumara and Maria.
Yes, Zumara Maria.
Okay, what's the background on that one?
I was about to tell you, Latina, but her focus is this cruise that we're all planning on taking. It's the end of the year, but it's Millionaire Divas Cruise.
Oh, damn.
Her focus, right, is to getting more divas, whether they're Hispanic or African American, Caucasian, whatever the race, but just more women millionaires. So that's her topic. It was interesting.
To be a cabana boy or one of those workers on that boat is going to be very tough.
Yes. And for anyone who's watching, we are taking auditions for cabana boys, okay? Because cabana boys have special requirements. And
what are the requirements, Sharifah?
I'm about to tell you, Vinnie, unless you might be interested in applying. So I'm going to tell you the requirements. Because I used to say for a long time, I would tell my friends, I would just wind up with a cabana boy. Like, that's what I always say. Like, I'm not going to get married, dating. I just want a cabana boy, right? And for the cabana boy, English is optional, okay? Because I don't really want you to talk. I don't need you to speak. I just need you to bring me another drink. That's all. Just come back and say drink. However you say it, just drink. Yes, thank you. Go get the drink, come back, stay right here in case I need something else. If you can do that, you might be a cabana boy.
All right, what are some of the requirements, though?
That's it. You have to.
What about looks? What about physique? What about
looks? You have to be attractive. I don't know what. Yes, and hot. You have to be attractive and hot. Attractive and hot is, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I don't even focus on that. But my main thing is, do not speak, cabana boy. Don't even raise your head. Like, just stand, head down. You thirsty, madam? You thirsty? Yes.
Cerveza?
Yes. Margarita? I only need you to know a few words. Wow. A phrase or two. Can I get you anything? You need anything?
You know what? Anything? See the way I look at it, I think men and women should have equality. And as talking on behalf of the male race, the male sex, it's offensive.
Are you offended?
That oh gosh. No, I'm joking. I'm good.
You're offended?
I'm joking.
Because there are a need for certain people. There are a need for sugar daddies, and there are a need for cabana boys.
What about a need for sugar mamas?
The what?
What about a need for sugar mamas?
That's not my cause at all. So if you need a sugar mama, go and do whatever you need to do. But there's no lack of sugar mamas. I need they haven't had sugar daddies like they used to since the 90s. I need sugar daddies to make a comeback.
Because there's a revolution happening. These sugar mamas are taking over the situation. That's what's going on.
No, it used to be easier to be a sugar daddy. That's all.
Why was it easier before?
Because they have more discretionary income. Before like 2008, before the early 2000s, people losing their jobs, getting laid off. It's hard out there for a pimp. That's what I
heard. So going to other interviews. So I had that one. I had the one from the Ukraine. That was very interesting. So it was so funny because he kept talking about, like, I was like, okay, so my podcast is all about basically Overcome University. And so we're talking about him from Ukraine. He goes, I wasn't doing well, got some business, wasn't doing that well. And so I decided to expand. Then he expanded to Denmark. And so same kind of thing. He goes, we do all right, and then not doing that well. So what we did was decided to expand to San Diego. But everything was like, you have to keep on failing and keep fighting through, and that's the way you're going to succeed. And now he's getting actually success here in San Diego. But it was funny, he expanded to 3 different markets. And on the third market was the one that he actually found success in. That was kind of an interesting way of looking at things.
So that's the message, to keep going, keep trying, do not give up, which is also the message. I have a Have you ever heard of Radiance Magazine?
You what?
Have you heard of Radiance Magazine? If not, you will.
Is it a PG magazine?
No, Radiance.
Are we back on Sugar Daddy magazine?
No, I haven't found the Sugar Daddy magazine yet. This is Radiance Magazine. It's the largest print magazine in Los Angeles and Orange County for the holistic practitioner, for the holistic entrepreneur, people who have holistic-based businesses. So I did my order today. I have a one-page ad in Radiance Magazine, and Radiance Magazine is in, I don't know, but they print out a lot of copies, and I think it's in over 60 stores, including Whole Foods, and it's free. So people can pick up the magazine. And so I placed my ad, and it's going to be in the June and July issue. So I was able to take care of that week. But we were talking also about my guest, Zomara Maria.
Yes.
This is how we got to Sugar Daddies and everything else.
Yeah, I kind of forgot. I think, yeah. I got that. But anyways, you're talking. Oh, I was talking. No, I didn't bring up Sugar Mamas.
No, I brought up Sugar Daddies, and then you brought up Sugar Mamas, and you were fighting for them. So we got lost with Zomara Maria.
All right, Zomara Maria. Okay, so tell me about Zomara Maria. So she's a sugar mama.
I don't know if she's a sugar mama. I don't do a survey to see who's a sugar mama.
That's not one of your questions?
Only the Sugar Daddies.
Oh,
I
okay.
ask about the Sugar Daddies. Like I need to know. I need a sugar daddy who doesn't want any sugar. He just likes to make me smile. Like that's who I'm looking for. But Millionaire Divas Cruise. Not only is it the cruise, but it's also just Millionaire Divas. This is her organization. This is part of what she does. So this was a very interesting interview. And it's so funny because Zomara is someone that I know outside of Facebook. She's a friend of mine, but we just decided to do this interview. And with my friends, I always have this joke where I live. It's a 12-minute walk to the beach. And so I thought I was doing pretty good downtown Long Beach. You know, I can hop in my car, be at the beach in 3 minutes. So then I went to my friend Stacy Pendleton's house because we had a networking event at her house. And Stacy's probably a good 5-minute walk to the beach. And so I was like, okay, I thought I was doing good with my 12-minute walk. And here's Stacy's at 5 minutes. So then Zomara Maria ordered a copy of my book. Hey, signs You Might Be an Entrepreneur. And so I said, okay, you're in Long Beach. In the time it takes me to go to the post office, I could just, pop over to your house and drop it off. And so she said, okay. So I went to her house, and Zomara's house is sitting on the beach. Like I went from, okay, I'm at a 12-minute walk. Stacy's at a 5-minute walk. Zomara, the beach is across the street. And so I was like, wow. This is who you want to be around when you're considering doing a Millionaire Divas cruise or anything Millionaire Divas, because I was enjoying the view of the beautiful ocean right here in Long Beach, just directly across the street. I got to move on up, do some more work. Then I think I'm going to have to start doing real estate or something because I need to be beachfront property.
Or you just need I don't know, find that sugar daddy, I guess.
I know because I was asking Val if she knew any. Val said she didn't know any, so I just have to keep asking. Just keep asking. One day I'll find one.
You know what? As long as you keep on asking, someone's going to say yes. That's 1 out of 100.
I think that's just the law of averages, Vinny. You're just like, if you ask somebody, I got to do that. I got to go on sugar. But see, the problem is when you go on sugardaddies.com, they want 18-year-olds. Okay. Val said, y'all.
Have you actually gone on sugardaddies.com?
Yes. Ask everyone? No? It's just me?
I gotta Google. Well, actually, I don't want to get on my computer, my office computer.
Yeah, but they're gonna be like, Vinny was looking at sugardaddies.com.
No, I'm looking at sugar mamas.
They have that. I'm telling you, they have everything. I don't know if you ever heard that farmers only dating site.
Oh, I've heard that one.
They always play this commercial, and I'm in Long Beach. I'm like, we don't have farmers here in Long Beach. Like, why are they playing that here? Why not in, Tennessee or something with farmers?
Maybe what they're doing is they're trying to get people to find love in Tennessee, and then they travel over there.
No.
They're like
Where's
waitresses.
the wrong sign? Don't you have a wrong sign? Where's your wrong sign? Because that was just wrong. We just
What?
wrong. That was just wrong. Where's the sign?
You want me to write one up for you? I'll write one up for you now. All right, so yeah, no, I would think so. Like maybe you're trying to be an actor or actress, I mean, and it's not working out. You're a waitress, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to find a new life for me. So what can you do? Find a rich farmer.
No. I think they're wasting all of their money advertising to people. No, you are incorrect, Vinny. That was wrong. You need to advertise towards your target core audience. There are no farmers in Long Beach. There are farmers in Compton. A lot of people don't know that. They have what they call the farms in Compton. A lot of people have horse ranches and just large pieces of land.
Well, so you don't know people that are maybe growing, some extracurricular.
That doesn't count as farmers.
You're still a farmer.
You know what, Vinny? I'm gonna hire you. That's what I'm gonna do. You're gonna come on work to In the News PR because you can spin anything. I'm telling you, I'm gonna go and talk to Vinny. Vinny will spin that story. We don't care that you just, that we defrauded all these people. I'll give you the Vinny. Vinny will put a positive spin to it.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So all those people out there that might be, growing some extracurricular items at their place, they're focusing on their plants. They're allowing them to get to their full potential.
Not farmers.
Singing to them,
no.
You know what I mean? Making them grow. Do they really have the time to find on those platforms Match or whatever it might be? They want to find someone that knows their pain, knows their burden. Who better than another farmer, another grower?
Out at weedmaps.com, not at farmers-only dating sites.
So who do you have set up for your podcast next week?
Vinny, you asked the hard questions, the difficult questions. Let me see. Next week, I have. Let me see who I have next week. Actually, I have Michelle Dickinson, and I'm very interested in speaking to Michelle because her topic is breaking into my life. So she's going to talk to us about what it is to break into your life.
Like, what do you mean break in? Like talking about robberies?
No, like the life you're supposed to have. Just like you break into Hollywood, it's kind of a play on words. So you're breaking into my life. So again, she's going to be our guest next week. And I'm just taking a look at her website, breakingintomylife.com.
Okay, so if you couldn't be doing what you're doing right now, you couldn't do this right now, you could do anything else, what would you do?
Sleep.
So you'd be a professional sleeper?
Yes.
Not a professional poker player or anything like that?
Yeah.
Professional sleeper?
Yes.
Would you find enjoyment in sleeping?
Yes.
You would?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a tough life. So let's say, hypothetically, as a professional sleeper, if you're waking up, eating, maybe taking a shower, use the facility, then go back to sleep, and doing it again.
Yes.
That would be the extent of it.
Yes.
I not one to judge, but that seems like a rough life. What?
Why? Why is that a rough life?
What kind of memories can you make? Okay, the only memories you can make are basically what you ate, your shower, and your bathroom. That's not.
No, Vinny. I think you're missing the point. So all I have to do is sleep. That's it, right?
Oh, you have to do what?
All I have to do is sleep. That's what I'll do full time, is sleep. But if I wanted to go do something else, like go talk to the Cabana Boy and find out what he's up to, I could do those things as well. But full time, all I'm gonna do, I just want to sleep. I'm going to buy an island, my own private island, for me and the Cabana Boy. And I'm gonna tell everybody, I'm still Reefy from the block. Don't worry. However, if you want to visit me, you're gonna have to come to the Maldives. So
now with Cabana Boys, would there be one for each day or one basically set Cabana Boy for infinite amount of time?
Just one. Only need one cabana boy. They too hard to train.
How long did it take to train a cabana boy?
About a week or so.
Oh, about a week?
Yeah, not too long, because anytime past a week, then they have to go. That means they slow. Can I describe my cabana boy? Yes. Why does everybody need a description? He just has to be hot. He has to be attractive.
And he doesn't speak English.
He doesn't have to speak English. Okay. If he does speak English, that may be okay.
But he can't be a talker.
Right. No, right. He can't be a talker. He may just act like you don't speak English. I don't want to have a conversation. I don't want your opinion. I don't want you to.
Miss Sharifah, I have this drink right here. You like this drink? Shh, be quiet.
That's too many words.
Too many words, right?
I got you drink for you. That's it.
Wow, that's quite living right there.
Yes, it's gonna be my own little 50 Shades of Reef.
50 Shades of Sharifah. Oh man, well, that's yeah, when are you gonna open up your teach people how to train a cabana? Uh-huh.
I'm accepting applications right now for the island in the Maldives, for the Millionaire Divas cruise. This cabana boy is going to have to travel with me all the time. So he has to be somebody who can anticipate my needs and just, help me. Just be there.
So okay, so you got the sugar daddy. The sugar daddy, can he talk?
Yes.
So he's allowed to talk. The cabana boy's not allowed to talk.
Correct.
Now, is there, based off of how much the sugar daddy gives you or is worth, is he allowed more words?
Yes.
Okay, so what's that? How does that break down? Is there kind of like an algorithm that breaks down based off of?
Yes.
Okay.
There is. I can't give it to you because then you would try to use it against. Because the sugar daddy is over here. The cabana boy is over here. So there's a huge way. So the more income, the more you get to speak. You get opinions, you get thoughts, because you covering everything. You paying the mortgage, you paying the car, you paying for everything. So of course, I have to hear what you want to say. The cabana boy is living rent free. He's staying there. It's an all expense paid trip. Okay, all his uniforms, because he has to have a uniform. All of that, his travels. He doesn't have to pay a car note. He's in the car with me. That kind of thing. So the more they make, the more they speak. The less they make, the less they speak.
Wow, you are definitely cold-blooded, Sharifah. Cold-blooded.
Well, when I find one of them, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna bring it back. I found one. Okay, I'm not ready yet for the cabana boy, but I'm looking for that sugar daddy that doesn't get any sugar right now.
Oh man. Well.
Okay, but I have to wait. I remember the other requirement though. See, when I have the sugar daddy, I need them to be like Anna Nicole and her husband. Like I need him to be older. I don't need him to be a 30-year-old sugar daddy. Okay, I need him. You know what I mean? He's lived his life. He just wants to see a beautiful woman to make him smile, and he's happy.
Wow.
Are you gonna rename this? He like the mind of Sharifah.
Oh, I mean, like that's. At least you have what you're looking for. If you can think it, you can believe it. If you believe it, you can get it. Something like that, right?
It sounds good. Let me stop saying all this stuff before these people actually believe me. I'm not looking for a sugar daddy. I'm not looking for a cabana boy. All I'm trying to do is get my hustle on by interviewing people like Dr. G. Alfred Palmer, like Yvonne Larson, and Zumara Maria. That's what I'm doing. Having shows like this one.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's being real, having the shows and helping people, for at least for us, helping people buy and sell real estate. That's I know Maribel, and she'll probably attest to it. But yeah, it can get pretty emotional, especially because we're dealing with so many people on like either big events, life events, so on and so forth, that like it can get like people start crying and start getting very very emotional, either way when they can buy something or they know they have to sell. So it's kind of nice to kind of switch it up a little bit.
So did you welcome Maribel as a new member of your team?
She's been part of the team for a while.
Okay, because I thought I saw a post this week, like, welcome to
Oh,
Maribel.
we got a new team member.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a new team member. She just joined our team. I want to say last week, I think.
Okay, but that wasn't Maribel. It was someone else.
Yeah. Maribel's been part of the team. No, this other one's her name's Nora. So she just joined the team.
Okay.
So we're working on her pitch right now. And once we get her picture, I'll post that and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so slowly but surely.
Huh? What do the new people do? I may need to come work for you. What do they do? Can they rap?
Can they rap?
Yeah, I want to be the rapping realtor.
Oh, have you seen that? There's one on Facebook. There's a girl that does rapping realtor.
No, now I have to come up with a new one.
Yeah, you got. No, that'd be a good one. But yeah, Maribel does a little reggaeton. So if you talk to her, she'll throw a little raps around, all in Spanish.
Okay, that sounds like karaoke, though.
No, she freestyles.
No, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like we don't all have to go to karaoke. I might have to come down to San Diego just so we can do some karaoke.
Bring it on. I tried. I don't know if I told you this, but I was in Ireland, and I got called out to do karaoke, and I was like, you know what, Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby, I can sing that. I've seen that song. Mm-hmm. I did not realize how fast that song was.
Oh, wow.
Did not go well. So note to anyone out there, if you're not a good singer, go with Johnny Cash.
Okay. Something nice and slow.
For guys.
And okay.
What's the easy one for girls, for ladies?
I don't know, easy ones. I don't know, because when I sing, I go for like some Whitney.
For who?
I can't think. Whitney Houston.
You sing Whitney Houston? Yeah,
I do.
Can we get a little beat? Can we get a little?
No.
Let's come on, just a little taste, just for the people, the fan. Leave them on a cliffhanger right there, just a little bit.
That was the cliffhanger right there. So we are coming down to the end of the show. As always, we appreciate Val, Tanya, Tony, Jackson, Francis, a few people who came, more people who came into the studio or into the comment section since we have gotten started. Please don't take us too serious because we have a lot of fun, but we're also bringing you a lot of information. So we're here Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you definitely want to share this interview and tune in.
And if you have questions and you want, if we have a good podcaster on one of our episodes and you have questions that you want us to ask, feel free to ask us and we'll ask them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have to get some of your guests onto the different shows. And then we're going to have to get that poker game going. So we'll have some poker entrepreneur extraordinaire come in and give us some little poker tips.
Sounds good. Thanks, Sharifah.
Until next time, you are welcome. Thank you, Vinny. Everyone have a good night.
Bye, guys.